Legendary rock vocalist Robert Plant is very close with some of his bandmates. Others, though, they're just in it for the music. When Jimmy Page first heard Robert Plant sing, he was blown away. As he revealed during an interview with Trouser Press's Dave Schultz, "I immediately thought there must be something wrong with him personality-wise, or that he had to be impossible to work with, because I just could not understand why, after he told me he'd been singing for a few years already, he hadn't become a big name yet. So I had him down to my place for a little while, just to sort of check him out, and we got along great, no problems." As Plant and Page became friends, they quickly established a creative bond, which lasted beyond the breakup of Led Zeppelin in 1980. They collaborated again in the mid-1990s for the live album No Quarter, and toured frequently together during that period. In 2007, they reunited once more for the one-off Zeppelin reunion, Celebration Day. More recently, Plant has been hesitant to reform Zeppelin again. That's led to some conflict with his former bandmates, especially Page, who told the New York Times in 2014, "Everyone would love to play more concerts for the band. He's just playing games, and I'm fed up with it, to be honest with you. I don't sing, so I can't do much about it. It just looks so unlikely, doesn't it?" Though arguably not as well known as Robert Plant or Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin bassist and keyboardist John Paul Jones is credited with co-writing some of the band's biggest tracks, like Black Dog and No Quarter. Jones first met Page while working as a session musician before joining the New Yardbirds on tour and becoming a permanent member of Led Zeppelin. Recalling his early days with Plant, Jones once said, "I think Robert was slightly in awe of us. He never knew what to make of me, and to an extent still doesn't." Jones has also admitted that his friendship with his Zeppelin bandmates didn't extend beyond their time together on the road or in the studio. In 2007, he told Q magazine, "We get along fine. The thing is, we have never socialized. As soon as we left the road, we never saw each other, which I always thought contributed to the longevity and harmony of the band. We weren't friends."
How many no's do you want?
Jones was present at the Zeppelin reunions in 1985, 1988, and 2007, but he was surprised that he was left out of Plant and Page's collaboration in the mid-90s, especially considering that they named their live album No Quarter, seemingly taking credit for one of Jones's songs. As he admitted, "I've never really understood why they did what they did." Late drummer John Bonham first played with Robert Plant in the Crawling King Snakes, one of many short-lived bands that predated Led Zeppelin. As Plant recalled, before forming the band that made them famous, Bonham was insistent on joining the singer's other group, Band of Joy. He'd said, "You're all right, but you're no good without me." Plant and Bonham developed a close friendship, one which was nevertheless fiery enough for them to descend into physical confrontations. On one occasion, Bonham punched Plant in the mouth during an argument over gas. Bonham reportedly told Zeppelin tour manager Richard Cole that it was nothing to worry about. As he explained, "Robert and I have known each other for so long that there's never any maliciousness in these fights. We just lose our tempers sometimes." Plant's respect for Bonham is plenty clear, especially considering that his death in 1980 was the decisive reason for not doing a Zeppelin reunion.
It was just one ridiculous loss.
John Bonham's son Jason has established himself as a talented drummer in his own right since he first picked up the sticks at the age of 5. He's played with some of the biggest names in the business, including Led Zeppelin. He took over his father's spot for their reunion in 1988. The stakes were high. Plant, Page, and Jones had last returned to the stage together in 1985 with Bill Collins filling in, and that performance was widely considered a disaster. The follow-up wasn't much better. Though critics generally agreed, Jason had performed admirably despite some technical issues. He was disappointed, therefore, not to be included on Plant and Page's tour in the mid-90s. He later told the Eddie Trunk podcast, "It was having to explain myself to people. Why didn't they get you? Aren't you good enough?" And I had a good conversation with Robert about that many years later. I said that was a really tough time for me to understand. And he had a very good reason why they did what they did. Jason was brought back into the Zeppelin fold for the 2007 Celebration Day reunion show. Nevertheless, Plant informed him that despite his clear talent, it wouldn't be right to tour under the Zeppelin name without John. A bluegrass singer and violinist from Illinois, Alison Krauss already had a distinguished career before she met Robert Plant. She made her recording debut at the age of 14 and released her first album with her band Union Station 4 years later. In the years that followed, she cemented her position as one of bluegrass's biggest stars. Krauss's first collaboration with Plant was 2007's Raising Sand, which was overseen by producer T-Bone Burnett. That album was a roaring success. It went multi-platinum, won 5 Grammys, and led to several tours. They eventually released a follow-up in 2021 called Raise the Roof. In 2024, Krauss told Billboard that she and Plant are yin and yang in many ways. And despite the rumors, while they share great musical chemistry, they've never had a romantic connection. Krauss, known for the high musical standards she sets for herself, is effusive about Plant's vocal style. She told Variety in 2021, "He is so free with everything that he sings. If someone's going to play a teeny little thing different in the studio, he's going to sing it differently. And that's part of why that's so magical, because he's always on the edge, and it's a beautiful thing."